Well, here's another video that I wanted to make because as far as I can tell, I haven't seen a video on YouTube about this particular subject, and that's installing an oil pan heater on my Lycoming IO-540. So let's get down to business. What I decided on for preheat is to get aircraft engine preheater or e-heater from Easy Heat. They're the silicone pads here, and it's the 540 model. What comes in the package, it's stapled all together onto this page. You have, of course, the Easy Heat modules here. They have an adhesive backing, 3M VHB, which is a very, very sticky tape, and I've read a lot of reviews about it, and the stuff is pretty tenacious. So also, you get a squeegee. You get some high temp silicone sealant that's up to 600 degrees, and we'll talk about why we got that later. And then you got all the zip ties for tying up all of the loose cord if you have any. The black ones are the ones that came in the kit. I'm going to go ahead and use my virgin vinyl zip ties that have the little metal tab in there. You can't really see it, but that's what I have. So as far as instructions go, there are instructions on the back of the package, and included in the package are also these written instructions, one page, and also cold weather application techniques. And another thing that you can download, you don't need to actually download it, you can probably just make your own. Just trace the pads on a piece of paper and cut them out. But they have these to help you identify places on your oil sump where would be the most advantageous for you to get to, one, and two, for being able to route your wires correctly. So let's take a look at the engine and see what it looks like under there. Okay, first things first, they say to go ahead and take cowling off the engine and take off all air tubes. I had no idea what an air tube was, but I figured it's probably anything for the air intake for the aircraft. So as you can see, I went ahead, I've got the cowl doors flipped up, I've got the bottom cowling off, and I just started. I'm going to go ahead and get the airbox off. See, I've got a Vans RV airbox here. A couple connections that are going to be a little bit in the way I can break loose. You got the throttle cable here, and over on this side you can see, let's see, there's fuel hose, prop control cable, mixture, a few other things, but that's what's going to be, I guess, loosened up so I can get good access. And actually, the way the engine's situated right now, I can use these templates here and to be able to kind of play some cut and paste and just kind of figure out which way would be the best to orient my pads before I actually go through the process of cleaning up the oil pan or oil sump and putting them on. Now this one here, this is a smaller one of the two, not by much but a little bit. This one here actually fits pretty well on the slope. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure. It's got 10 quarts in there. I'm not really sure if where the oil level would be in sitting in a 3-point position, because when I'm warming this up, when I got it plugged in, it's going to be in the 3-point position. And actually, where the hangar space that I'm parking in, it's covered hangar, it slopes down even just a little bit. So gonna have to check that out to see exactly what's going on here. But one thing that they did indicate in the directions, or when I read them, is you look at this little pad here. This is a template for the pad. You can see this is how it's oriented. This is the thermostat. So what they'll do is they say to orient the thermostat pointing towards the prop. I thought that was kind of interesting. So I called Easy Heat yesterday and asked them, I said, why do you want that oriented that way? And they said the main reason is the way that people sometimes take the power plug and they'll run it up so they have access through their oil door. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to have my access for my plug under here. I've got a cutout for the exhaust, and it's going to live down here somewhere. I'm not really sure exactly where. Trying to run it up through so I can get it to the oil door, which is way over here. Oil door is right up in here, obviously, where I can get to it and see the. Where are we at here? Oh, I can't even hardly see it. Anyway, the dipstick holder is way back here, so I'd have to take and put a hole in the baffling, and then seal it up later. And the hole would have to be big enough for the 110 plug to fit through. So I decided, nah, I'm not going to do that. But Easy Heat did say it really doesn't matter which way that is oriented. You can put it wherever you want. That's just a recommendation. So next step is to go ahead and take all the stuff off that's down there, the air box and all the little cables that might get in the way. And then finalize where I want to put the Easy Heat pads, and then go on from there. See about sticking them on. Okay, now that I identified where I wanted to put the pads, now's the time to go ahead and do it and clean up the pads, or clean up the sump where the pads are supposed to go. How that's going to happen is I'm going to take a Sharpie and I'm going to mark the perimeter around the template, both of them, front and back. And I'll probably clean it up, clean off the paint, probably maybe 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch proud of that whole template there, just because of the silicone, give that something to bite to. Of course, I've got the little cloth Norton handy roll. It's really good. It's probably about 120 grit. I can use that and do that by hand. One thing I've had really good luck with in the past for cleaning up different types of things is having a little multi-tool and having these Dremel I don't know, it's almost like a little roll-lock pad, a 3M roll-lock, but it's a Dremel brand, and it fits on their easy take on and off mandrel. That's what they look like little fuzzy little balls. They're pretty stiff, and they make short work of cleaning up things. I've noticed that when I'm cleaning up some engine parts that have old gasket material on them, and they do really well. So I'm going to give that a shot. Hopefully it'll make it quick. I'm not in any rush to go ahead and get this done. I mean, there's no time crunch, but I want to get it done and get it out of the hangar and get it back to my home airport to where I can be flying. Okay, a little progress report here. It's going well. I didn't mention the previous segment that all I had to do was take the air cleaner off the intake there, and it gave me a lot of space to be able to work. So looking at the front pad area, I protected the fuel control, or fuel servo rather, with a little plastic bag from Home Depot Aerospace Supply Center, and I used my little Dremel tool, or the Bosch equivalent, a little cordless tool with a little fuzzy wheel, and cleaned it up real well. The only thing about it is the fuzzy wheel is I can't get into the area down below close to the fuel servo, so I'll do that by hand, no big deal. I did try some MEK, and also I got some good light here. I did try some MEK on the on the paint that I painted, because I got that from Divco, and it was Aladyne from Divco when they shipped me the engine parts back. And I painted it, I think, with some Tempo Lycoming gray. Stuff's tough. The MEK wouldn't touch it, and it's a 1K paint, I believe. So there we go. Going to keep on going after it, but it's going really easy. Appreciate that. Okay, I got some done yesterday, and I got back here this afternoon, and I finished the front. You can see right up here, all this is clean, and actually smoothed it out quite a bit more. So that should make a really nice surface to go ahead and bond that pad to. There's the pad, Let's see, where is it? There it is. So the wire's going to go out the opposite side, but you can see how it's just going to go around the side, and I left some margin around the outside edges just so I could have something for the silicone to attach to. So now I've got to go here and work on the pad surface in the back. I thought I'd give you a quick look here before I start sanding on the location of the aft pad. So there's the paper template, and I got it set up there with some little sticky tape, and I went ahead and marked around the perimeter with a magic marker, and now it's time to start cleaning. Should be okay. I'm going to try to avoid taking this plate off because breaking the safeties, and that's also part of the mount for the mixture control. So we'll see if I can get around it. If not, I'll go ahead and take it off. Okay, that went pretty well. Actually better than I thought. Trying to get in there. I didn't have to take the bottom plate off of the fuel servo. So if you look here, yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Hang on, let me unplug this. I've got a chicken coop light. Yeah, there we go. So there it is. I was able to get up in there and clean up that area really nicely. And now all I need to do is make sure that both areas are clean from grease, you know, that sort of thing, and just everything else. Make sure it's nice and tidy, and then warm it up, which I'm doing now. Here in the hangar, it's probably maybe 60 degrees-ish, somewhere around there. Not quite warm enough. I think the instructions say they want to have at least 75. Let me take a look here. When you glue it down, let's see here. Boop-a-doop-a-boo. Application sump, 15 minutes. Oil sump needs to be 70 degrees or above. There you go. So it's certainly not 70 degrees in here, but that's okay. I can leave the chicken coop light on, and it'll warm up, and then it'll be time to press it on. Okay, a little change of plan here. It's getting a little bit late. A couple other things came up I had to take care of, but I was able to get the engine cleaned up and ready to go, like I said before. And this is what I ended up with for the little chicken coop light. The engine is still pretty cold. I left it on there. I just rigged this up with a coat hanger that I found here in the hangar. Engine is it's pretty cool. So without having to use heat guns and trying to, you know, get a cold soaked engine up to temperature or just one spot, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave the chicken coop light on. It's in a safe spot. It's not too hot. I've got the cowling doors closed, so it should warm up enough by tomorrow. And then tomorrow I've got my little thermal temperature gun, check the temperature, stick the pads on, get the silicone on, and be done. See you tomorrow. Okay, here we are, almost 24 hours later. Got a little bit delayed this morning, but that's okay. Got out in the hangar, it's early afternoon, and here's the chicken coop light, still burning away, and it worked. It was really cool. You can see that there's the clean areas, and I got my little infrared thermometer, and average temperature is 80 degrees. Now it was all over the engine. So the heat lamp worked, the distance was great. It's supposed to be 75 degrees or better, and we got that. So now is the time to go ahead and stick them on. Got the one position there, just trying to figure out what the best way is to kind of hang on to them. Now the instructions, they contradict each other a little bit. Actually, don't contradict. What I should say is that one instruction gives a little bit more than the other. If you look at the instruction in the sheet that comes with it, it says after all the air is trapped, all the trapped air has been removed and the heater has been firmly pressed into place, you take the silicone RTB and then put a sealing bead all the way around it, around the perimeter. Well, on the back side of the packaging that comes here, they have one here. It's number 6. If you look at it, it says after all the air is removed, apply pressure on the pad for at least 15 minutes to achieve maximum bonding strength. And it has, this is important. So I'm going to go ahead and do that since they said this is important. One doesn't say to do it and the other one just says to do it. So what the heck, what's 15 minutes, right, per pad? So how am I going to do that? Because really there's no way that I can apply pressure to that evenly. I was thinking about using some rollers. I've got some rollers that I brought with me. One is a laminate roller. It's pretty heavy, and just sit there and roll it and roll it and roll it. The other one is this, kind of the same deal. It's for rolling out fiberglass, and I could put pressure on it. But then I went and looked at my sanding pads that I had, and I've got a wet or dry sponge pad that I used for doing wet sanding on the paint, and it's got some give to it, but it's not spongy, so I will be able to compress it, and I'm going to hold it in place with this wooden block. So I'm going to sit there and I'm going to hold it for 15 minutes, and I'm going to time it. I'm sure plus or minus it'd be okay, but I'm going to give it a shot. So once over with the with MEK or some isopropyl alcohol, clean that pad section off. I'm going to press it on and go on. Okay, here we are. We're done. I got the front pad pressed in. You can see it's pretty even. It was really easy to locate because I've got the base of the fuel servo right here to act as a guide, and I left a little bit of space there for the silicone around the edges. The one on the bottom here, because it's a little bit, there we go, it's kind of hard to visualize, I guess, when the backing paper is off and it's really sticky, to be able to align it. I had a couple pieces of green masking tape as alignment marks that I put on the sump down here. Let's see, where's my finger? Yeah, right here, down here, and then on this edge here, this edge here. Oh, right here. Yeah. So I could get a really good visual on that. And the other thing I did was when I was laying down the pads, they've got just a little bit of a cup to them. So the sticky side is on the concave side, not the convex side up here. So what I did was when I laid it down, excuse me, I pulled the paper off, and then I would take one side and then just slowly press it down like this until it was all in full contact. Now about the pressure, I was able to use the sponge like I wanted to up front because it was easy to get to. The back, on the other hand, was a little problematic because of the space concerns. So I used my little roller, and I timed myself too. I was able to use about 5 minutes of pressure on the front pad, and when my arms got tired, they took a little break and sat there, rolled it with the roller, and I repeated that till I had at least 18 minutes or 19 minutes or so. The one on the bottom of the sump here towards the aft end of the engine, I just used basically the roller the whole time. I was able to use the wood and the foam just a little bit for that little thermostat block, but basically just to I put the block up on it because it stands so much more proud than the pad is. I went ahead and put the block up there, and I used the end of this roller and pushed up on it. when I got tired of doing that, I'd go back and I'd start rolling it again. I did that also for about 18 minutes. So that's really about it. Now it's time for the silicone. And what I'm going to do there is, got all my bits and pieces here. I found a little schnabel from a silicone bottle that I had, or a tube that I had at the house. The silicone that we have here in the kit doesn't come with one. But these caps are all kind of, these threads and caps are all standard pretty much. So I found one at the house that's already been used, but I was able to pull out the little plug of cured silicone that was in it. And I'm just going to thread that on here, and I'm going to use that to do the perimeter of the pads, and that should be just perfect. Okay, that's it. It's done. Yay. I was able to get the silicone around the edges of the pads. If you look at the little schnabel that I put on the end there, I highly recommend, if you have something like that, to use it. It really made it a lot easier going around the perimeter of the pad. I used probably a good third of the tube, maybe a little bit more. So here's what the front pad looks like. Nice sealed all the way around. Got some silicone underneath the wire where it pokes out, the power wire. And then here is the other one, the aft pad. Got around that really well. A little tricky getting underneath the wires that are protruding out of the thermostat section. And what I did there is I brought with me some popsicle sticks and some long toothpicks, just in case I needed to direct the silicone underneath those wires. And I did. I was able to use one. So I'm really happy the way it turned out. Just advice, take your time, just be clean, methodical, put the thing on, and then just go for it. Real test is going to be how it works, and we'll see here in a little bit, maybe in a week or so, by the time I get it back over to my home airport and able to actually plug it in and use it the way it's intended. Anyway, good luck on your project, and I hope you're successful. Thanks for watching.